What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kpop Kimchi Podcast, your number one podcast for girl groups with the number one fanboys. I'm your host, Justin Turneau, with my co-host, Brian Limper.
What's up?
What's up? What it do?
What it do?
We're ready. We're hyped.
Not much. It's kind of crazy because
episode 1, I don't even know anymore.
It's 11:55, which means we're starting earlier than we
starting
normally
way
would.
earlier. Really bringing the energy for the early recording today.
We really are. We watched a bunch of...
and we watched a bunch of YouTube, so we could have started even earlier.
we could have started like 10 o'clock.
We
really just sunk deep into the Kingdom... What was it? Video
just the
playlist
Kingdom
that we watched.
Stages playlist.
Then we started watching some of my old videos that I had posted up on my YouTube channel.
Go check them out.
Dude, throwback.
There's some oldies on there.
Haven't been to a concert like that in a long
oldie
time.
from where I come from.
Pretty much. But we got some, I guess, songs that got released recently that I just haven't listened to, so I could save them for the podcast.
Comebacks.
Because live reactions are always the best. So the first one we're going to listen to is Pop by Nayeon.
Which came out today? Oh my gosh.
Well, visuals, 10 out of 10.
Oh my
on
gosh,
one hand,
this looks awesome.
I'm like, not shocked she's the first one to do solo stuff, but on the other hand, I kind of am.
I feel like it's just weird for any Twice person to have a solo.
True.
There's like
Just getting ready for the future because they're coming off that contract, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't listened to this at all. I haven't even heard any of the teasers.
I have not either. The teaser pictures look cool. Oh my gosh.
My gosh.
Wow.
Although, I mean, she's like all around good, so she could do solo.
Yeah.
This just kind of seems like a fun...
This song's fun.
Upbeat song.
I like it.
Who's got the craziest
I think good solo debut. Oh my gosh.
Is this just like the sequel to Bubble Pop?
Good song for summer.
It's actually kind of a shorter song. I noticed that when I was like looking at it. What's it say? It's only 3 minutes.
I saw people saying that. People were just like, "Why is it so short?"
Man.
My gosh, there's a lot
Are
of
they just
outfits.
performing on the stage from Queendom?
Yeah. The
Man.
outfit designer really
Outfit
outdid
budget is on
himself.
10. Wow. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's exactly what I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
She's gonna win some awards, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think she'll definitely kill it as a soloist.
She's going good. I honestly thought with all the stuff going on that they might have like tried to do something with Jonghyun first as a soloist.
I wasn't sure.
But
I don't know who I would have guessed if you're like, alright, who's the first solo for Twice? But again, like you said, not surprised it's Nayeon. Maybe I would have said like Gio or something, I don't know.
what a crazy video.
Yeah, this video's cool.
My goodness. That stage is nuts. Seriously, why is there more budget on her stage in their music video than all of Queendom put together?
This,
What's going on right now?
That big giant sign's awesome. Huh?
Could we not just get the other Twice members as backup dancers?
I know, like cheering in the background with light sticks.
Like when they got that Got 7 video.
This looks actually pretty good. Not bad. It's just fun.
It is. Really upbeat.
It's good.
Visuals 10, songs pretty good. Videos good. Alright.
Definitely a quick song, but
Exactly
that was
what I
good.
expected,
Good job,
but we
Nayeon.
are who we thought we were, huh?
That was solid.
Before we start our next song, we brought back our favorite, try random stuff to drink.
That's really all
While we're
anybody cares
watching
about on the
videos.
podcast. Now we got some.
And now we got this thing called Liquid Death. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's not as intense as it sounds, but the can's cool. The first time I ever had Liquid Death, it was essentially water.
Well,
it tasted like water.
It's water.
Their tagline is Liquid Death, murder your thirst. And it literally just tastes
with,
like water.
With
from the
water,
sink.
because that's what it is.
So the first one we got here is Bury It Alive. I can only guess it's a berry
Now,
flavor.
yeah,
It's
now
actually a
they
pretty cool name.
now they got some like kind of flavors going on here.
And this
so.
says, this ruthless tall boy's flavored sparkling water is armed with agave nectar, natural electrolytes to refresh your body and murder your thirst.
This is gonna taste horrible.
I can hashtag death to plastic recycle. Cool.
They just put a bunch of intense words to
So
make
we're
it
gonna
sound.
try this out real fast while we're.
They just gave it that like
Smells good.
It does.
If we're going off,
it smells like berries.
If we're going off the smell of things before we drink, this is by far one of the better ones we've smelled.
Sometimes
I feel like that's a big part of the
sometimes
drinking,
they're really good and taste bad. Sometimes they smell bad and taste
it's
really
clear.
good.
I don't know what that... Clear usually means not good
Is
thing.
it just
But it is sparkling water.
Ooh, I'm not usually a big fan of that, but
Alright, so right now, sparkling water, not a good thing. Smell, pretty good.
Still
it's clear.
smells good, even in the cup.
Alright. I don't like it.
I don't really like
I hate sparkling water. That's terrible.
It's just...
It tastes like berries, though.
It's just flavored water, and I don't like that very much. Like, flavored sparkling water. Not a big fan.
It's not the worst thing I've ever drank on this show.
It's not the
It
worst.
definitely tastes like berries.
It's not
I
the
will
worst.
give them that.
It's not the worst.
It's one of those things where it's not
I'm
my
not gonna
favorite.
buy one.
But, like, since it's sitting here, I might get bored and drink it. Like when Justin drinks all the other
I
energy
drink
drinks we got
all the
left over.
nasty energy drinks just because they're here, and like we're like, well, we did pay for that.
All right, so next we got Card with the Ring of the Alarm. Shout out to Card coming back.
Kind of forgot about that.
I knew J-Seth was returning from the army.
Good for him.
I'm actually surprised because I feel like they got stuff out pretty quick.
I know,
Is this
right?
the same like gas station that they
Yes,
filmed the
yes.
one video in for what's their names?
You got it.
I don't know. Ring.
Yep.
Oh hey, it fits. Ring the alarm, huh? Is this the same billboard they danced in front of for that Shiny video?
It's I wonder if J-Seth is rusty. Did
about
he
to find
perform for the troops? Where's that video?
Yeah. Did he not perform Ola Ola by himself? He has some crazy blonde hair going on. Seriously, that's gotta be the same gas station. What is it? Rocket Punch.
Yeah.
Ring, that's it. I mean, it definitely has a Trop House sound that Card's known for.
This is a vintage Card right now.
It really is. The old bread and butter, if you would. Come on, J-Seth. I need that J-Seth explosion. There it is.
Yes. He knows how to make an impact.
Man, his hair's crazy. Looks like the bad guy from freaking Rush Hour.
Yeah, he does.
Mixed with Stan from the Eminem music video. It literally sounds like a
This
Card
sounds like a
song.
Card song.
Seriously, is he just Stan from the video?
Not crazy about this one.
Ooh,
No, we
J-Seth,
actually
let's
have a-
go, boy. What in the world is going on?
This is a metaphor for the army.
I don't know what I'm more impressed by. BM's crazy halter top, like, does this shirt say boys can cry?
I don't know.
This crazy like cut off halter top leather jacket thing going on, or the fact he's just bare hand climbing a mountain. I mean, vintage Card.
Yeah, definitely sounds like some Card.
Now
he
he
made
climbed to
it.
the top. My gosh. Is
And
there
he
anything he
climbed
can't
it
do?
again.
Look at him go. It's like they never stopped.
I know. They really didn't skip a beat at all.
Everyone's like, Trop House is terrible, stop doing that. Then they did it, and now they're like, we want Trop House
And they're
back.
like, nope, we are doing what we want. Run, J-Seth.
Remember when everyone was like taking pictures with him before he went off to the army with his
Yeah.
haircut? Whoa. Where's he going?
Oh. I don't know.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Man,
If you are a Card fan, you're gonna like this.
seriously.
This is what you've grown up with since you were a kid. It's alright.
I'm-
Not like crazy about it, but it's alright.
They look like they're having a
That's
good
like
time.
literally, this is just like literally what they do.
I know.
Doom.
That was the
Alright.
craziest top ever.
Alright.
Hey, somebody call Kai, tell him that he stole his shirt.
He bought it from the Kai store.
They're like, man, it's good to be back. All I can imagine, J-Seth coming back to make this masterpiece was like when Abana joined WJSN
To help them win.
to help them win Queendom.
Queendom 2.
Next, we have our next drink.
Next,
up
Liquid
here.
Death.
Oh, yeah. So before they didn't have flavors. Hold on, does the side say anything? Nope. So,
Alright, good.
yeah, this one's severed lime. Yeah, you're good.
So I'm guessing
Cracker. Before they didn't have flavors before. It was just sparkling water, normal
and water.
And I don't like sparkling water. I mean, it smells like a lime. It smells like a
They
7-Up, actually.
they really nailed their smells.
All right.
Wow, it smells like Sprite.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
It tastes more like a weird, weak 7-Up, really.
It's just like Sprite with like no sugar.
Kinda, yeah. Not the worst. I think I like that more than this berry one.
Yeah, I think so too. It does just taste like a Sprite. It's
Moral
like
of the story for a taste test today is don't drink sparkling water because it tastes bad.
Yeah, that's really what it is, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm drinking this one right now.
I just do not like sparkling water very much. Also shaming these people for just calling it a crazy name like Liquid Death, and they're just
Liquid Death, sponsor us.
literally selling water, and it's like, well,
that's our honest review.
they
of
have
their
really
product.
their cans look really cool.
I will say, and if you ever see their ads on like Instagram, it's awesome. It's just like super metal, hardcore breakdown and like crazy
It's
stuff.
awesome.
But
I mean,
the
water,
logo's sick.
My favorite one of all the ones I've had is the normal water one.
The tastes like water.
That's literally my favorite. Is the original water.
All right, well,
In the black can, I believe.
The other thing that's weird about sparkling water is it leaves like a weird,
Oh, I hate it.
like dry, tingly feeling in my
That
mouth.
does not taste good at all.
Like I feel like when I drink it, it dries my mouth out more than it quenches
Yeah.
my thirst.
I just don't know why you ever drink sparkling water.
I don't either. All right, so the last song
not gonna buy
before
those again.
we get into our episode here is apparently aespa had a comeback with a song called Life's Too Short. I mean, I guess it
I knew they were supposed to come back, and this is it.
I just don't ever remember seeing
it
anything
all
for
in
the
English?
teasers and stuff. Maybe. Whoa. Hey, is this the one that they like debuted at like
Maybe it was.
Coachella and everybody hated it?
I don't know.
Man, that's some nice hair, Ning Ning. It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I really don't remember what it was, to be honest with you.
Man, those are some crazy nails.
So it's just like, I mean, it is to come back, but I just never. I feel like with sometimes they like have a song and then you're like,
It's
is
weird-
it a comeback
it's
or
weird
not? Like,
Because it's like
is there-
comebacks for like everything you normally
is
see
there
with
a
like
CD?
releases.
Yeah.
But then other times it's just like a song release where like release a song.
Yeah, they've done that multiple times.
So I'm not really sure either. Like I don't remember seeing any teaser images or anything for this.
I remember seeing some pictures, but that's about it.
I don't know. I just remember seeing people when we were watching the vids, they'd review it, and they're like, you know, they debuted like this new song, blah blah blah, and I wasn't a fan because the lyrics seemed kind of childish and like not good, and they're singing English. And I'm like, oh well, this is definitely it. Also, the filming of it's weird because it's like kind of purposely like fuzzy.
It has like
blurry.
a big filter on it.
It's kind of weird. Although I like Ning Ning's hair.
I don't think it's too bad.
No,
It's nice and chill.
It's poppy, which is what K-pop is missing these days.
Yeah.
Winter's got long hair again. There's also a lot of
She's a
CGI
bunny.
special effects. Man,
It's very dreamy.
it is. This filter's like,
That's like the filter name is Dreamscape.
they got the burn book going on over here. How hard is it to put that shirt on? Doing me regardless. All right, well, good for that. I will say this has a lot of views on it, so
I think it's pretty good. I like it.
I will say it definitely sounds better on this than it did on the live version that they played at Coachella.
Yeah.
Dog. I bet they were super excited for him to be there.
Yeah. What a lucky dog. Yeah, that song's cool.
All right.
Nice vibe. Nice vibe.
Cool, cool.
See, like that. I don't know. Maybe they'll have more coming out, and that's like the first part. I just never know with them.
I don't either, but that was a good, start to the show.
Pretty good songs.
I mean, everything was good so far. Honestly, I have to say that when you listen to songs by established artists, it goes way better than you're listening to debuting groups and people you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Because across the board, these ratings are already better than the ones that we normally listen to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, usually the track record is higher for the people who have proven to be good before.
All I gotta say is, whenever the ratings for the songs are lower than the ratings we give the drinks we're drinking, that's not good.
That's not good, because usually the drinks we have are horrible, and now this aftertaste really sucks. Ugh.
Just makes me want more.
If I drink more, maybe it'll go away. Instantly got worse. Ugh.
It's like when you eat something hot, but you keep eating it, so it's not hot anymore.
So
but
it
it's
just numbs your mouth.
It's always hot.
But yeah, good songs.
All right, cool. Good start.
Pretty solid, pretty solid.
Now, for everybody who came here for the epic one-part episode that you've all been waiting for, it's going to get us canceled from K-pop forever. Maybe. This is
I don't know about
This
that.
is the big one. We're going to do a review of Kep1er so far through their,
Our
3 months they've been a group?
yeah, just
It's basically just like we watch a lot of Kep1er stuff. We've seen like all their stages.
a breakdown.
We watched them on Queendom. We watched them all on Girls Planet. And we have some thoughts on the actual group and the members themselves so far into I guess this is technically their first comeback, even though the song that they had for Queendom was technically a comeback, but not like a...
No, this one was a comeback. And
Well, the whole thing was supposed to be a comeback for Queendom. That was the whole point of the show.
I didn't know if that meant that song, or they're just pretty much saying, hey, after...
No, it was supposed to be like that song was supposed to be like a comeback for the show. It was like supposed to be all original songs for the groups.
Which
that was
it
like
was.
that was like the point of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But then this is like their actual, I don't guess, comeback. I don't know.
I
But
would just
anyways.
count that, yeah.
So it's either their second, technically third. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, just with them and watching them on Girls Planet, we've really been with no group like we've kind of been with them since we've literally seen the entire, the pre-production for Girls Planet, all of Girls Planet, and then now Kep1er's debut, and then now them actually being a group. Like, we've been there literally every step of the way with Kep1er. So it's literally unlike any other group we like. Because there's groups that debut, we're like, oh, we love these people, but we didn't go through that process of we weren't there for IZ*ONE when it was actually happening, or IOI or whatever. So this is a completely different. So that's why we have to actually break it down, since we've been with these people a long time.
And for anybody listening to this who hasn't listened to any of our stuff that we had for Girls Planet 999, which was forever ago now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kep1er is a group that was formed through an elimination show, which was Girls Planet. And that was the first elimination show that Mnet had since they had the whole scandal with the Produce series.
Yeah.
And this series had trainees from Japan, China, and Korea, and they're supposed to be a global group, which, I mean, 3 places doesn't make anything global, but they went through these eliminations, these songs and everything, their performances, and they got eliminated one by one until the fans voted, quotation marks, voted, for their favorite members to be this group. So the final 9 people were the ones that made this group, and they were Kep1er. And that's essentially where we're at now.
We haven't... I think, very, very initially I saw something about, rigging, but haven't seen anything recently. So maybe that'll take a while to come out. Who knows what'll happen with that. You never know with any of the... I mean, Mnet, we said a million times before, has a very strong track record of...
They have a 100% track record of cheating.
Of manipulating things, so we would not be surprised if stuff comes out eventually. But as of their debut and recently, never really heard anything about it so far, so I guess we'll just wait and see for that. But in the end, we said, it doesn't really matter. Because it didn't matter with IZ*ONE, didn't matter with IOI, so...
They were grouped for years, and some were disbanded before they even brought up the scandal. So
exactly, so it doesn't matter.
It could not come to the surface till, 4 or 5 years from now?
You never know. So, yeah.
But we've watched a lot of content. We watched, all their little variety shows. We watched them on, different reality stuff. We watched all their stages. We've seen all their comeback videos. We've seen all their stuff they did for Queendom, obviously, because we watched the show for them and stuff. So we have a good sense so far of what's going on with the group.
Yeah.
I'll also watch a bunch of random behind the scenes stuff. Just really anything Kep1er related we've seen.
We've seen most of it, I'd say, and just again been there the whole time, so have a pretty good grasp on what's going on.
It is kind of weird to think about it because it's not even groups when you see them like new groups debuting and you see like teasers for them, like introducing the members.
Yeah.
Even like Sephirim or Les Sephirim, whatever they're called. We saw them releasing the teasers for the members.
Yeah.
And like everything like that, but we didn't see them making the group and coming together. Like
that's
literally, literally when we saw Girls Planet, they were like
that's
nothing.
What I'm saying is literally
people.
like through the mud of like actually how it's being formed. We saw the people even before, so we could kind of get an idea of like, oh, these people seem kind of cool in their little short videos, you know. And then it was like actually the elimination, and like we both participated and voted, you know, when we could.
It's just like watching them from putting in their trainee videos
so
to going through training.
They have like a special place because again, we've never really had that with any group of just going through all that. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, Girls Planet was really fun.
Girls Planet was awesome.
I
it
missed
was a good
all the
experience.
time. It was fun.
It's crazy to think about how long it was. So if anyone's listening to this and you all probably already, know the same stuff because you watched it too. Because I know there's people that follow us.
Yeah.
That started listening to us once we started doing all the reviews about like, Girls Planet stuff like that. So it was like an ongoing series for like 11 weeks.
Yeah, 10, 11 weeks. It was a long show with a lot going on in every episode.
True. So, in the end, they came down, and like I said, it was supposed to be Chinese members, Korean members, and Japanese members. Essentially, is what made up this Girls Planet. There's like, 33 of each or something like that? And then in the end, it came down to Yoojin, Chaeyeon, Daeyeon, Wani Hye, Youngin, and Yeso, who all were from Korea. And then Mashiro and Hikaru, who are from Japan, and then Xiaoting, who is from China. So there's only one Chinese member in the group out of all the people that were.
Yeah.
So what's it? 5 and 3? No, 5 and. I'm missing. I'm not. I think I missed somebody, or maybe it's count. I think it's 6.
Well, they're a Korean person.
Yeah.
You named the other nationalities.
So it'd be 6 and 3. I think I just counted wrong in my head. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I just counted wrong. So it's 6 and 3.
Yeah.
So we have 6 Korean members, 1 Chinese member, 2 Japanese members. Essentially, what it ended up being, right?
Yeah.
Now, honestly, for this whole show, I didn't make any notes for any of it because all this is coming from the heart, from my experiences. And the first thing I've got to point out, like the most noticeable thing about the whole group itself through all this stuff is Xiaoting's really like an attractive person and is very talented, but I feel very bad for her because anytime you see her in anything, I have no idea if she knows what's going on. Because if you watch any of the other, like, Mashiro or, like, Hikaru, they've kind of picked up on the Korean language faster than maybe she has. So they actually participate and know what's going on and stuff. And Xiaoting literally just sits there and doesn't do anything. It might just be her personality. Like, she might just be a shy person and she doesn't talk a lot or, like, want to partake. But if you go to any variety shows, any of the Queendom stuff, anytime there's interviews, anytime there's anything, she just does nothing. She's just there. So I feel really bad for her because I really wish there was another Chinese member so she could at least like
that really bugs me.
Communicate with them and have someone to talk to.
Just a teammate in a way, and Xiaoting can understand what's going on, but I mean, going back to Girls Planet, she was like winning for like weeks. She was like the number 1 prospect, and we were like gunning for her, rooting for her. There's no way she's gonna fall. There's no way, blah blah blah. And then she was 9th. She was like the last person to make it in Kep1er.
It almost seemed like we need a Chinese member.
And we were like, what? Like, how could she fall so far? And then now that we actually have seen them in action as a realistic team and group, we're like, okay, maybe we are starting to see how she might not have been the number 1 overall prospect. And again,
honestly, if you take her out of the group, I don't think they'd be missing anything.
It's just crazy because, and sure, this can be superficial. I don't really care. She is legitimately such a beautiful human being that when she has her singing parts, which she gets lines. She has some lines.
She gets more lines than Hie does.
Yeah, she gets more lines than other people. But, like, she's so beautiful, you kind of forget about all that stuff. But, like, breaking it down and watching her on, especially, like, Queendom, just kind of seeing that each week, just didn't really do much. And you really kind of forget about her until she does get, like, that nice face visual shot. And you're like,
really
like, wow, an angel, of course, shouting. But other than that, I think overall, which just stinks because she probably doesn't get the language, like you said, So it's like tough to be like hard on her. But it's been a little disappointing.
But it's like there's like V Lives too, where it shows like people talking Korean. She's like sitting there and like,
Yeah.
do you understand? And she's like, no.
It's just like a little. She's kind of been like, if there's like a trending arrow of like where the people are, and we're like starting with shouting, it'd be a down arrow.
I really, like I said, like nothing against her, but if she wasn't in the group, I don't think they'd really be missing too much without her being there. Like it'd still be the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they'd miss somebody like if Hikaru left, or like Chaeyeon left, who actually won the whole show, you'd definitely be
She
like,
was
yeah,
the
there's
winner.
something different here.
She
You
was
know
the
what I'm
winner.
saying? But if it's like shouting was gone, and just be like, okay, well, it's
Let's
the same
just-
group.
So when we watch the show, and not saying we like don't really like shouting now, we're not saying we hate anybody, but if I would have got a signed Kep1er album with shouting right after show, I would have been hyped. We got our signed albums from the first Impact from M-Wave. We both got shouting. Let's just say our excitement level is not as high as it would have been.
I was like, oh, if you got
It
shouting.
was like, oh, this is cool. Like, you got some. It is actually signed because,
Yeah.
you know, we've had bad experiences. Didn't want any PTSD. But, yeah, she's kind of just trended down. And I definitely think she can improve. I mean, hopefully
other
she can
thing-
kind of pick up. I definitely think she can get better. She performs pretty well.
The other thing that kind of we don't know the other whole story behind too, because
Sure.
we don't really
Sure.
see everything 24/7. Behind the scenes when they're off camera, we don't know how much the other members interact with her. Like maybe on camera she's just awkward and doesn't want to talk, and off camera the members are try to help her a lot and they're really friendly with her and stuff like that. And it's just, you know, on camera she's awkward, whatever.
Well,
But we also don't know. Maybe they just don't talk to her off camera. Maybe they just go do their own thing. So she's just alienated by herself and she has no one to talk to because she's the only Chinese member.
That's again why I wish I just had someone else from China, just so she'd have someone to kind of like
You know what I'm saying, though? It's like
be like, you know, I mean, if
we see behind the scenes, but we don't see behind the scenes. So we don't know like how much of effort of anything's being put into.
Well, you just never know about anything.
Exactly.
Actually. All you see is what is on the screen. Like that's all.
That's
we
what I'm
see.
saying. So it's like
So
I don't
it's
know.
like-
Maybe she's just like that, and then they
Well,
or
you-
try to talk to her off camera, and she's just a shy, awkward person and
And,
doesn't
like,
want to
ma-
talk.
and,
I don't
like-
know. But it just from what we see, she just doesn't seem like she really. I wouldn't say doesn't want to be there, but she just doesn't seem into it like the rest of the members of the group are.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's definitely a fair.
I would be very. I would honestly be lying if I wasn't like she probably thinks twice a week. Man, I wish I was just back in China.
I
with my
feel like I
friends."
get that vibe from watching Girls Planet. Sometimes I was like, I wonder if she just like wants to go home.
Yeah,
I was
that's what I'm
like, does
saying.
She just want to go home, which I would understand. I would want to go home.
It's like
But,
I'm in this foreign country. And like I said, I don't know how much the members try to interact with her off the camera. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do.
But it's like
they do.
I'm sure she's like, man, I wish I was just like at home with my friends, just chilling, being in like this dance
I mean, you
competition
just gotta
show.
think about it. Like that's tough. I mean, you're in a completely different place, and you're like the only person of your like nationality in this group that is like mainly Korean people in the country you're in, and then you know you have multiple Japanese people,
Yeah.
and
So because
I feel like okay, it could be wrong.
at least they could talk to each other.
I mean, there's been other Chinese idols. There's been Chinese idols. I feel like maybe the like Japan to Korea, because they're making a lot of K-pop groups will do like Chinese albums or Japanese. I'm sorry, and maybe some do Chinese songs. I don't really know, but I feel like I don't really know that many groups who are making like a Chinese song.
No.
You know what I mean? So there might be a little more of like a back and forth with Japan and Korea. So I feel like
I know K-pop's huge in Japan.
yeah.
That's like a huge thing over there.
Yeah, and like there's Chinese idols. We've always seen where Chinese idols are in groups and then they go back home and then they like never come back and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
and
a huge
they like
thing.
kind of just promote over there so
Like all the members of WJSN.
yeah, exactly. Like the perfect example. So I don't know. Again, there's no way to know the details. That's just kind of what we see from the outside. But she does seem like she might be a little homesick.
And like
Which sucks.
Compared to seeing her on Girls Planet, I feel like she's acted a lot different than what she's acting in the actual group. But also in Girls Planet, she had other people to talk to. She wasn't like just chilling there by herself all the time.
I also think too is, I mean, we don't know exactly how this group was finally formed, but the way Mnet usually does it is rigging, is that she was put in the group because she's so beautiful, and that can just like overpower any weaknesses of like language or like.
It's legit. You're right
Yeah.
though. Like when we're watching stuff, they'll be like doing stuff. I'm like, oh hey, it's Kep1er. Like oh here's here. Forget about it. Then she pops up on camera like, wow, you're a pretty
She's
person.
gorgeous. I mean, she's like it's hard to think of anyone more beautiful than her, honestly. She reminds me a lot, which is just a good thing because I do believe it's changed over the years, of watching videos of like young Tsui Twice, because again, she was just like a really nice looking person, but didn't have a great grasp on like the language. She kind of just stood around and like existed and like maybe did one thing, and everyone freaks out because she's like one thing, of course. But she's a lot more, like, her personality has come a lot more as, like, time has gone on. So hopefully that's kind of what's shouting, too. I don't know. It seems like she just... I hope she's good. Like, I
did say a long time ago, I don't know if if it can happen or if it will happen, but I definitely said if I saw anybody, like, bowing out and leaving before the group was finished, like, their contract, that I think Shouting would leave and go home.
I would say she would just go home. I hope it doesn't happen.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't blame her. I would.
But...
being alone with, I mean, not really random, but being alone, you know, with people who don't really speak Chinese as their first language, and it's tougher to communicate with people in general. I mean, we've heard from Sorn before and other idols that over there, it's like they speak Korean, and if you don't learn it, then you're screwed. Like, that's what you got to learn.
Yeah. And
so,
I think she's...
Like I said, nothing against her. I mean, she's really talented.
Yeah,
she's good.
She's a good dancer. It just seems like the Shouting song, like Girls Planet Dancing, was like different than...
She just seems a lot different on Girls Planet than she does in the actual group.
It just...
it might just be how the group is being presented to us. I don't know.
Yeah, we never know, but it's just stuff you pick up on, and... I mean, she'll improve at everything, and she's good at dancing. She doesn't stick out on like that way of like, wow, this girl can't even dance. Like, blah, like... Obviously, she only made it for her looks. Like, no, she can perform, for sure.
No, she's a great dancer.
She's definitely not, like, lacking any skills when it comes to that. And she sings, too. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's not like she's just back there getting zero lines.
The other stuff, too, is, like, it's kind of hard for her to, like, stand out as much when it's just not just her being on there. Because she doesn't really get, like, any main vocal parts. Mm-hmm. Or, like, any high notes or, like, anything memorable,
It's more just noticeable when it's just, like, the down moments of just kind of like chilling or talking or watching other groups. It's just kind of that is when you notice like she's really quiet, like stuff like that. But that's her performing's pretty good. So
that's my main observation of her.
I'd say Shouting has trended down overall so far. But
anyways, hopefully you stay there, Shouting. Hopefully things work out for you. But
I think she'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But that's just right now.
I know it's only been like a few months. I mean, when did they debut? Like,
yeah, there's still so.
When did the show even end?
Really, it's been a long time, but at the same time, it's not because they have a lot of time.
It's been active since
just last year.
Formation.
When did it happen?
Their originally scheduled debut was on December 14th, 2021.
So it was like right before the new year.
Then it got delayed. Because one of the staff members got COVID. I forgot about that.
Yep, like right before.
Dang, they've been a group a lot longer than I thought. Because it says they debuted January 3rd, 2022. So I guess that's a lot longer than I thought it was.
So they've been a group about half a year?
It's almost been, 7 months, right? January to February, February to March, April, May to June, June to July. I guess it's 6 months, yeah.
So yeah, like exactly half a year.
So by the time we go see Dreamcatcher next weekend, they will have been a group for 6 whole months.
Yep. That's crazy.
So I guess they kind of put out a lot of songs since then because, man, what is it, 3?
I mean, they've had a pretty much jam-packed 6 months, just with, especially being on like Queendom.
True.
They've been active, which, I mean, it only makes sense for them to be active. Why wouldn't they be?
I don't know, but I mean, they still got a lot of time. I think their contract's 2.5 years.
It was
3 years,
I thought it was like 3 years total. So we will have.
It's a very long time.
We will have much of. We'll have many updates about Kep1er. So, but that's probably one of the biggest observations of just like what's kind of going on.
My next observation is, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. I'm sorry, Eugen, but I think I would have preferred the group more if she wasn't in it. I did vote for her to be in the group though. But for me, being a CLC fan and her being like what seems a lot more experienced and older than the other groups, it's just kind of weird. Not gonna lie. I feel like if she wasn't in the group, and wasn't such a prominent face in some other group, that it would have been a lot better. Because I remember I don't know if you guys like watch anime and stuff, but when they made the Cowboy Bebop movie, or show I guess on Netflix, they got the guy who played Harold. I forgot what his name was. But he's like a really famous actor. and he was like the main guy, like in the movie, where the other guys weren't like super, like popular characters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost feel like it would have been better if they got someone different to play him, so all of them are unknown. So it wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, there's this one super famous actor in here doing this one part, and like why? Like just get somebody else. That's who I feel like about Eugen in the group. I mean, she's fine. It's just I feel like I would have liked the group a little more if she wasn't there.
I don't think it's like Eugen and the girls though. You know
No,
what I mean?
I'm just saying in general. It's like any movie I watch with Daniel Radcliffe and he's not playing Harry Potter. I'm just like, this is weird. Like, why?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It's just because we were so, especially like, I mean, CLC was your like ultimate group for a really long time. So seeing someone from CLC doing something else is.
I think she's not like doing anything in the group that someone else couldn't do.
I just think that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, she's trended down as well. I mean, I voted for her many times. Not toward the end, but when we had multiple votes, I voted for Eugen a lot. But even on Girls Planet, we like rooted for her, but I feel like just as these like other idols were coming up and you're like, wow, these people are awesome, she kind of took steps back every time just because like we did have awesome times with Eugen, and not that she doesn't deserve to be there, she does a fine job. It's just I don't know. I mean, like you said, she kind of had her time, and especially also, some of the people that got eliminated, if you were like to replace her with them, I feel like I'd be almost like more excited.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like when they're going on shows or they're doing things like on Queendom, and she's just talking and acting like she's never been an idol before. Like this is brand new. It's just really weird to me.
And she just hasn't stuck out a ton.
You know what I'm saying? She hasn't like
she's just like really. She's like does a really great job, but there's nothing like that's really blowing my mind.
Like
about,
maybe she was like
Eugen of Kep1er,
a main vocalist or like the main dancer or like. Something like that. Like, okay, well, there's a reason she's there. But there's definitely people that got eliminated that easily could be doing what she's doing right now in the group.
And in, like, K-pop, there's, like... I mean, it's different for everyone, but... There's members that you really see that you really notice, and you're really like, whoa. Like, that, and, like, Eugen's just not one of those people. She's just not.
I would have rather them replaced her with
I would. There's probably a lot of people I would have rather had instead of Eugen.
Honestly, even one of my not favorite people in Girls Planet was... Sion, and I would have rather her been in the group.
I would have rather had Maya. I mean Urena obviously because I would have wanted Urena over a lot of people.
Or Fu Yaning.
If Urena was if Urena was in, oh my goodness, that'd be so awesome. But there's even now Gia, not Girls Planet Gia, but now Gia.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Pretty much like anyone, because like you said, it's just such a new thing. So just having all new people makes it like
makes it more exciting.
Makes it just kind of more exciting. Kind of like how ITZY debuted without Somi, and it was like all new or all like newer. It wasn't like, oh, here's this girl that everyone already knows. Like you said, it's just like cool because it's all new. And we've just known Eugen so well.
Like I said, no hate to Eugen, but I mean I've been watching Eugen for a very long time.
Absolute legend.
Honestly, probably a lot longer than people that have been fans of K-pop that listen to us.
Years now. Years. The years have racked up of knowing who Eugen...
I don't know. Just seeing her in the group kind of... doesn't really make it awkward or weird, but it's just not...
No, it's not weird.
It's not as exciting as it would be if it's just all fresh faces.
Yeah, I feel it was just like... I'd rather have someone else.
Yeah.
Not to hate, but I feel like I'd rather just have someone else. Just for that whole reason. And again, I'm not like, wow, Eugen is carrying this group on her back, so there's no way she can leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if she was doing something like spectacular or she was like the face of the group, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe that's why she's there. But they're really, outside of her being Korean and getting voted in and being in another group and popular for her, is not like a spectacular reason for her to be in the group. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we even said it during Girls Planet, besides the first episode when she had a lot of emphasis on her, like, fake drama with Fu Yaning. She didn't really do too much. She kind of just didn't mess up and just was there, and that's kind of what she's doing now. Just kind of coasting and doing a good job, but again,
still being in a group.
Not like blowing my mind. I mean, I'm happy she made it because she said she still wanted to be a singer. But yeah, I mean...
honestly, it might just be more of a personal thing for me, but...
yeah. And it's not even like I'm like, oh, she's CLC and no one else. And it was like, no, like she can be in this group. It's just just hasn't stood out enough that I'm like, they need her. When like someone else could have had a chance.
Looking back at all the people we watched in other elimination shows get eliminated, and we're like, wow, they're so popular. Why would they get eliminated? Like, I don't understand. Now I understand why they've rigged it so they didn't get into the thing.
And yeah, I mean, there's
like imagine IOI debuting and they had like like a huge in there, it'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Or like Produce 48 debuted and they kept in like a well-known person from another group, and you're like, why would they be here instead of someone like else that hasn't had a whole career
there's literally girls that could be replaced with Yujin that would probably be my main bias in Kep1er now. So that's just how much we like some of these.
Like
other
I said,
people.
it's nothing against
Like
Yujin.
if you put Kai Bing in there,
Dude,
my
that'd
gosh,
be sick.
like
You
easily.
do that, or even like Wayne Zay.
There was a lot of great people on.
Anybody
yeah,
from
can
the
we just get
Chinese
another
group?
Chinese member
So
so
Xiaoting
Xiaoting can have a friend?
You
and be
know, honestly,
happier?
I feel like if you had another Chinese member to talk to, she might be more.
I think it
energetic
would be a lot better.
and be more lively.
I think it would. I think it would be a lot better. I completely agree. She just had someone that was her nationality.
Or just could talk to her.
I completely agree.
It might make things different.
That's bogus that they put one person.
I honestly, the way they did it, it still just makes me feel like they're like, okay, we need to put one person in
and
here.
at the same time,
because you had all of them on here.
because like Xiaoting's extra beautiful. Like, okay. At the same time, of course, like we understood, like, all right, they're gonna have more Korean members, okay, but like really, one Chinese person, we couldn't have one more.
That's what I'm saying.
Like just one again. Like Yujin is a veteran. That would have been really I mean, honestly, as much as I hate to say it, it's what was her name who didn't make it in Pros 48 that got rigged out? That was a veteran that we all loved.
Khan?
Yeah, like at the same time, like I don't know if Khan would have fit in with
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
it's like I don't know if she would have worked with the.
Looking back at it, I can't see her being in Eyes One. Like, it was such a fresh group with a different concept that I don't think. I mean, I'm sure she could have done it, kind of like Yujin. When she did the stages, she did like the bubbly kid stage, she did the mature stage.
She'll probably do it.
She did whatever, but it's like, it just doesn't seem right.
It just makes sense with the rigging. You're like, okay, I see what they were doing.
So looking back at it now,
I don't necessarily disagree.
So like looking back at it now, I'm like, now I see why they rigged it so she wasn't in the group.
Yeah, and like as much as rigging sucks, you see what the plan is, and you kind of are like, okay, like I'm not.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people probably disagree with this, but I mean, like I said, it might just be a personal thing.
It's just
for
like
me.
the plan that they had. You're like, okay, I see what they did. We can just like go through. Let's just go through each member. I mean,
well, I'm looking at
those are kind of like
I'm
the
looking at
main
the Produce
ones.
48 contestants and looking at where they finished at, right?
Yeah.
Because there was some people that got knocked out. I mean, obviously, this is not girls playing it, but I'm looking at the. Hey, we got another video blocked. Awesome.
That's what we do. It's the one thing we're good at.
I know. I don't know. It's just in general. I don't. One person that I feel like should have made the group and didn't make the group, and I think would have been a great fit for them, because even though they debuted already, they weren't really super well known, would have been Doa.
Yeah.
God, she'd have been awesome in the group. She was in Fanatics, for those of you
Yeah,
who don't know.
because
She's in
Fanatics is... Fanatics had decent music, though. Decent music. Doa's really great. Love Doa.
I don't know. There's just so many people where I'm just like... Also, shout out to all the girls that I'm looking at right now, Produce 48, that are like in groups in Korea right now.
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, it's a ton. Those are like the main people right now.
But, I mean, I'd have to say those are my two real takeaways from watching them on stuff.
Well,
right now.
yeah, because usually the people who had a sense of like fame or stuff before, even like Doa or something, or even like all the Cherry Bullet girls, like those people never win because they have other duties. Like they have fan bases, so they're not gonna go do this. So I mean, maybe because CLC was done, but it's like kind of different that someone like that.
I can't honestly see any of the people from Cherry Bullet being in the group either.
I couldn't either because they're in Cherry Bullet, so
Yeah.
it like makes more sense that it's like, well, they have to go do stuff. But I mean, I guess people from like IOI were in other groups. They would go do their stuff with other groups while IOI did stuff, but that was a long time
But
ago.
I will say, though, when they did that, those groups weren't actually groups doing anything until,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, well, I guess WJSN was kind of doing something, but it's not like WJSN had Yeonjung in the group and then Yeonjung left the group to be in
Wasn't
IOI.
that what DIA did, though? Did they exist before?
Barely.
I thought they existed before, and then, like, Chen left one. I don't know. She was, like, never around. They were a group for, like, 5 months. They were a group for, like, 5 months. They might have debuted,
like, a couple, like, maybe a couple months
I don't know.
before
I
she's
swear
in the
there
thing.
was some group that was actually a thing before Produce 48, and then they, like, won and were not there. But, I mean, It was just a different time back then.
But
That
it's
was literally like the first
because like
one.
Goo Goo Dolls really didn't do anything until after they were in IOI.
Yeah,
Like they promoted while they were in IOI,
Yes.
but it's not like the group was like CLC or they were an established group doing things and then she left.
That's just what makes it different is they were kind of at the end of the rope for them. So, Eugen had a little more free time.
They should have just put Sean in this group.
I think there's a lot of people that could have been
Shout out to you, Sean, for debuting.
in it. Yeah, their song Lapalus, not bad.
It wasn't terrible.
Not
No.
bad at all. Especially watching that stage, I was like, this is solid. It's okay.
But I have to say, those are my two main takeaways for anybody listening to this. Is that I feel bad for shouting. I feel like there should have been another Chinese member. Eugen, I love you, but I wish you were replaced by somebody else in the best possible way.
I don't think there's really anyone else in the group that I'm like, they shouldn't be there.
Okay,
Off
maybe
the top-
one.
Off the top of my head.
One of them that I will say I was not sure about, and this is extremely funny to me in many, many ways. So everybody knows about our long history with wanting Bahia being in the group. The surprise, what was it, second place finisher, I think?
Did she really get second?
Yeah, something like that. And she
That
got voted into
was
the
shocking
group,
for a lot of people.
and everyone was super mad about it, except the Bahia fandom or whatever they were.
who were fans for a long time. Yeah, right.
But I mean, she's kind of grown on me since it started. She doesn't really do anything wrong, but she doesn't do anything amazing. She gets a lot of like
Here's the
ad libs
thing.
in the background.
Here's the thing.
So it's not like she's really doing anything to
She
stick out.
exists exactly how she did on the show.
Pretty much,
She
yeah.
doesn't really do anything. And I'm coming from a place of since Kep1er debuted, I've actually grown to like her a lot more.
Oh yeah, same.
Before. She's actually, I think she's okay and pretty great. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to become a fan of this person. Probably because now they're like a group and a unit, so it's like the love for everyone spreads to the other people too. Because it's not like she's doing any more.
And you don't have any reason to vote against her because she's already in the group.
Yeah, and it's like, but like watching video, I'm like, okay, like maybe fan cam, you're like, but hey, good job. And like, we're not just going to be like natural haters and be like, ew, she sucks, get her out. Like, we're like, okay, like we're going to give the person a chance. And she's done okay, but she just like not go above and beyond on anything.
She's the definition of just coming to work and getting the job done.
She is just like the ultimate, like, she's just like, I don't even know.
But here's the thing, right? We knew this going into the group.
Yeah, because we watched
because there was
Girls
an entire
Planet
show
every second.
based around picking the talented people to be in this group.
This
right?
is what made me mad.
There was a segment, I kid you not, for anybody who did not watch Queendom, I don't remember what episode it was. There's a whole segment where it showed clippings of fans pointing out Bahia is lacking in dancing and singing
like,
abilities compared to other members of the group.
Stupid netizens.
And I'm like, I don't know if you're the people that supported her previously. I don't know if you're just haters. But there's a reason that we had an entire show to weed these people out and get the proper, the proper people in the group. And now after they debuted, you're deciding to point out the exact same things you were sticking up
that
for.
we all saw before, and what made everyone, a lot of people, in some sort of an uproar when she got second place. Because we're like, what did this girl show? And then, oh, she debuted. And everyone's like, oh, she deserves it, blah, blah, blah.
She's
and
a great dancer, you just don't see it.
People are like, wow, she really lacks in dancing ability. Who would have thought?
But
you mean all of us who watch Girls
she's
Planet
really
and
far
saw it
behind compared to
whole
the other
time?
members. I'm
It
like,
was,
oh my
that's
God.
what made, I was like really starting to like her. And then, not that made me dislike her, but I saw that and I was so angry. Because we had literally the most perfect scouting report on her this whole time. And now these people are like just now seeing it. I'm like, did you not watch anything on Girls Planet? And I'm sorry, like to her fans, she didn't do anything on Girls Planet that was like memorable at all. Like I remember her on the ice cream stage because everyone did really great in the ice cream stage. But other than that, I don't remember her even having like a little camera shot of saying anything. Like, I just don't remember her at all. She's not memorable on the show.
The only thing I can compare it to is like you're going to scout a player and you come back and you're like, man, that guy we heard about, I don't know. He only go for like maybe 5-10 points. He doesn't look like he has a great motor. I'm like, no. I think you could go for 20 to 30. We should take a chance on him. Then he plays and he goes for 5 to 10. You're like, man, we shouldn't have got this guy.
That's exactly what
Like,
it is.
This is exactly what we thought was going to happen. And I'm like, then why did you do it?
Because there was that moment where you're like, okay, well now she is in the group, whatever, she made it, and maybe she's really going to erupt and just be like this personality and this like machine of like performing.
Once she got in the group, I gave her all the chances in the world. Like, I like her way more than I liked her in Girls
And again,
Planet.
I like her now.
I've seen
she
fan
has
cams.
grown on us.
She's actually kind of funny when she talks on the reality shows and stuff like that.
She does seem...
She has some personality.
She does seem really recently to be doing a little more. But, like, she just never...
But my gosh, on a scale from 1 to 10, and 10's being the highest, she's maybe a 5, maybe a 5.1 when she tries hard. Like,
she's just like the... There's just like so many different like analogies you use, but I always think of like Thanksgiving. If you have to help, if you celebrate like a big family meal and everyone's working really hard to get it ready, it's like the one person who does one thing that everyone sees, or like, oh, I'll take the dog out. So then they go do that, and then they don't do anything else.
Or it's like, I'll set the plates out.
Yeah,
for
like,
you.
let me get the dishwasher, and everyone's like, oh, thank you so much.
Or you're done eating that?
Yeah,
Let me take the trash
let me take
out.
that, and they do like one thing and take one bag out, but then everyone saw it, so they like remember like, oh, thank you, you took the bag out. So and then like everyone else is like getting the food ready, cleaning, blah blah.
And just
blah.
like sitting there,
and then they get no props because they didn't see it. And I was like, that's what she does. Like she does like one thing okay, and everyone's like, oh my gosh. And now everyone's starting to see, wow, maybe she lacks in some things.
I don't know. That was just. I'm sure all the Bahia haters are going to come out at us, but I don't care because I mean, honestly,
not a hater. I like her.
We've watched so much content after Girls Planet that it's like I can't argue in any fair way at all.
And
you
cannot say
that we missed something during the show.
And you can't say that her brothers didn't have any kind of influence, that his fans didn't have any influence on voting, because they absolutely did. That's just how it is.
Also, shout out to find out she had a brother because we started listening to TXT.
TXT,
they're pretty sick.
Awesome group. Brother, super talented.
Awesome. I wish we could go see him live, but
we got too many concerts to go to. But she, it just was really frustrating seeing that because we saw it the whole time. She was never like bad.
Here's the thing: we never hated. We never hated on her during Girls Planet. The only time we hated on her, well, not really hated on her. We hated on the fact she finished second place over a bunch of people that should have finished above her.
There were so many people that were
like, if she would have slid in and finished like 9th, 8th, I'd be like, oh, cool.
And be like, well, their brothers' votes got her that last place finish.
Like, hey, good for her. She snuck in there.
Fine.
Like, but 2?
No, she literally was second place. Man, that final voting was a dark day. That was a dark day.
For anybody who wants to see how dark it was, go watch our
YouTube video of literally souls being sucked out and just like
that still actually gets
dead.
A bunch of views on the channel too.
It was crazy. What a hype time of just like, I don't know. There's a lot of emotions that day.
And to go back on what I'm saying, I'm not saying she doesn't belong in the group. I'm just saying everything we knew about her is 100% true.
I think she fits in the group better than Yujin does. As far as just like,
oh yeah,
I feel like she fits like concept wise, and
if it came down, honestly,
she just doesn't do anything.
It's like keep one, get rid of one. It's between her and Yujin.
I'd feel really bad, but I'd have to get rid of Yujin and keep Bahia.
If that's saying anything to you.
I think I would maybe keep her over Xiaoting.
I honestly probably would.
I think I would too. Because it's just like you're just like waiting for that potential that you're like, we heard so much about it. When's it going to come out? And then it just like maybe is kind of slowly right now.
That's called drafting off of, what is it? Upside?
Apparently she has a super high ceiling that like takes a while to get there because she's taking the stairs. Like, I don't know. It was just so frustrating to see. And, well, again, fans make it more annoying sometimes, too, when they're just like, how can you not see the talent? Blah, or, like, trying to make people feel stupid or, like, they don't know what they're talking about. Because
also, you guys have to know, too, if you listen to us, we're going to give you the 100% truth. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You guys can be as bad as me as you want.
And that's fans for anything, not just K-pop. When people try to act like they know more and, like, make people feel like they're idiots because they don't, like, that's the worst. And a lot of BA fans did that in the time. And it was like, oh, look, that's why when that news came out of everyone being like, maybe she's not that talented or blah, blah, blah. We're like,
no, she's really lacking in dancing skills compared to the other members.
Who was right the whole time? Us, again.
And it's also like when you watch the tapes back, like they showed clips and like fan cams and stuff, she clearly is out of sync and not up to par with like everybody else.
She's just kind of quiet and just sat there.
Now,
she's just like a ghost.
To give her the benefit of the doubt here, since we're being kind of negative.
We are. I'm sorry.
Maybe the other members are just really good dancers.
Yeah.
I
do.
It's like anything. Like, you could be a good basketball player, then play a guy who's like going to the NBA. Mm-hmm. He's going to be better than you. Like, there's just nothing you can do about it.
Always somebody better.
You know what I'm saying?
And I do think she has done a pretty good job in Kep1er. Like, again, we have become more fans of her after debuting, and like every step of the way, we like her a little more. And not that we ever didn't like her.
We
Again,
never
it was kind
hated
of just
on her.
the situation around it.
It was the way she finished is what made us.
And just seeing other people that get eliminated that were like, wow, those people were awesome. And because there was a lot of people that got eliminated that we wanted in the final lineup. Because overall, it was a pretty sad day at the time.
And like I said, to clarify, if you go back and listen to our stuff, we weren't hating on her. We were hating on the fact she finished in the top 2.
Yeah, that was like mind blowing.
But honestly, if that was anybody, like some random person that was ranked 58th, finished in the top 2, we'd have been like, why? Like, what did you ever do?
Yeah, it's just, and we watched the whole show. That's what we thought. That was our takeaway. So, nothing, like, it's hard to say nothing against her because it sounds like we're being mean, but we're just being honest. And I think she's doing a good job now, and I think she's going to get better. And I think she fits in with the group. I do think she fits in with Kep1er. I'm not like you. She shouldn't be there.
No, she
I absolutely think she should be there.
But
her final ranking, all that stuff, does she need to get better? Yeah, but I do think she absolutely belongs in Kep1er.
BHA fighting.
Yeah.
Follow that flower path,
I don't want to
girl,
hear
just
any
get
hate
better.
on us because we're with you, but at the time, and I feel like a lot of people kind of feel like the way too. I mean, she probably did actually get too much hate after the initial ranking.
And that wasn't just from us. That was from everybody.
There was a lot of people who were in that.
Go read the
boat
comment section of our reaction video.
of like people fighting, and I mean, there's never time that's productive. So but that's just kind of the honest opinion now of her. Is really just when they had to bring back up of like, oh, maybe she lacks in this. Is like
that just like
I was just like staring
me
at
so
TV.
bad.
I put my head in my hands. I was like, we saw this.
I literally just wanted to yell.
Are you kidding me? Like Homer strangling like Bart. Like what did you not see? Medicines, whoever you are.
But I mean, outside of that, the other members are pretty great. I will also say, like I said, we've been on a negative spiral here, but I mean, I told you we're going to give you the harsh truth. Another harsh truth, though. Chaeyeon finished first. Shocked all of us. Did not see that coming. 100% deserved to be number 1.
Yeah. I mean, watching them now, I'm trying to just like go get the members because I'm trying to talk about everybody.
Like, we kind of question it, but then we're like, sure, whatever. Like, she's...
Well, because we just get to
She
the
can
point
be
where like,
number
well,
one.
it's like, well, there's nothing to really do, so we're gonna have to.
And
This is the group we
she
got.
wasn't like bad on Girls Planet. She wasn't like amazing to me either. But after seeing her in the actual group, she 100% deserves to be number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Xiaoting trending down, Yujin trending down, Bahie trending middle line where it's just like even.
Yeah.
There's like no up or down. Chaeyeon definitely trending up. She's really great.
In my opinion,
and
she's
really
really
awesome.
funny on the variety
She's
shows.
hilarious.
Great personality. Great singer.
So
she can dance. She has the
Really?
looks. She has the talent. She's like an all-around. She's an all-around idol.
I am
she's
perfectly fine with calling her the champion now.
Like if we go back in time and this is like what she was on the show, I'd be like, she deserves to be number 1.
That was my biggest thing. Now is just like I did not see this Chaeyeon on the show.
I didn't either.
It was just the Chaeyeon who had great vocals, and she did. And I mean, maybe because vocals
Honestly,
are never my favorite thing, but she messed up. And
in the show, Xiaoting had way more personality than Chaeyeon did.
Chaeyeon just kind of was around.
Or maybe that's how the camera work was. Like,
it just
favored
what
certain
they
people.
wanted us to see. But it was just like, oh look, the girl from SM Entertainment
who should have been an aespa. Like, yeah, she's been
that's
riding
like all
coattails.
they kind of hammered home, so you really didn't get to know who this person was. Besides, she had a really good voice and was supposed to be an aespa, and we're like, okay, well, Chaeyeon, blah, blah, blah. And she won, and we were like shocked. We're like, how does she win? She didn't deserve to win, but now, totally cool with it. Her personality is awesome.
Super great idol.
Really love Chaeyeon. So
awesome.
cool.
She's definitely, I think, shot the highest on my board of.
Yeah, I'd
Girls playing
say
drag
of
picks.
like everyone trending, I'd say she's trended the highest.
In my opinion, I think she's
as
the
far as just being like really impressed with how they are, because she's just a lot different than she was on the show.
Now, if I had to pick who I think deserved to be number 2, because Bahie finished number 2, I think based off everything we've seen that it should have been Hikaru.
Absolutely,
Hikaru's awesome. Everybody loves her.
Not
Not just us. Like idols. All the idols love her.
She might be trending the most actually because she is like a star.
She really is.
She
deserved her first place finish at the beginning of Girls Planet, and she should have been in the top 3 at the end.
It took a little while for us to really get behind her as far as like rooting for her, but toward the end of the show we did. But then now since debuting, she's great.
She's honestly one of she's so small, but she's like an amazing dancer.
You just cannot.
Great rapper,
You just
great
cannot
singer.
not you like have to look at her. Even she's like such a little person, but you're like, whoa, like
so
check
bubbly,
out her.
so fun.
She's fun. She's intense when it's like when the concept is intense. She's really great at performing. And again, like you said, everything we've seen, especially on Queendom, the other idols really love
they love her.
They're like,
they love her.
She's like everyone's favorite member. It seems like
it's like one of those things where like you see them in all the time, where like they do something and all the members are like, oh, cute, like they're adorable.
They love her. She's probably trended up the highest because she is like a star. She's really great. Shout out to them for like however she was able to get on Girls Planet. Like shout out to that recruiter because she is excellent.
She never should have been number 7.
I think no, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess because it was all Korean. I don't know, the all Korean voting. Who knows?
Those are 2 members that I could never imagine Kep1er without.
I could see. I mean, I'm totally fine with Chain being the champion now. But like, if you're like, yeah, if I didn't know anything about it, and you're like, I saw this group now, and you're like, oh, this girl won instead of Carl, I'd be like, oh, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd say also if I had to pick a 3rd place finish, which originally Yujin.
Was it? I don't know. Not even remember
Yeah.
the final thing. Besides,
She was like number 3 or 4 the whole show.
Yeah, she just she was just very solid.
Is Daeun. Which
I think
we actually thought she was going to finish first, and she didn't.
talk about a roller coaster of emotions.
I thought after they hyped her up the whole time, it was the whole Daeun show for like 4 straight episodes.
That was crazy.
They met her mom. They FaceTimed her mom for no reason.
When she wasn't even in that group. She wasn't even in that team.
They like went and wrote thank you letters to her and left them at her house.
Yeah.
Still kind of weird.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have anything else to do that episode.
I mean, I might be biased, literally biased, 'cause she's like my bias of the group. But I think she's like amazing on all the stuff they do. And she's very prominent and noticeable.
I think she, from all the things we've said from back then until now, I think she is probably the like number 1 biggest star on Kep1er. Like she is the best player.
And
team.
Everybody.
I think she is the best all around. Most, I don't want to say most talented, but like I think she is the star of the team.
Going back to like Girls Planet though too, remember all the girls like were cheering for her because they're like she was like Korea's little sister, like everybody was cheering for her.
Yeah,
all the trainees
like,
cheered for her. I'm like, oh, I get it.
Well,
whatever.
they just like made her.
Did they pay you to say
like,
this?
Make her god die, and you're like, ew, they don't want her to win.
She
Why are they
literally
in her
saved
house? She's
an
not even
entire
there.
performance by singing Trot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't.
That was ridiculous.
I'm not gonna go. I'm never gonna go back on all the weeks we talked about her and we're talking like mad crap
All
about
the
the Daeun
silly
show.
nonsense that M
Do I
was
regret
like,
it? Because I love her now? Yes. But out of all the people, she definitely is one of the people that sticks out the most in the group.
I think she's all around the best idol on the team.
Amazing dancer, great singer,
super
charismatic.
Star.
Everybody like loves her. She's one of those people where it's like whenever they do interviews or anything, it just like zooms in on her and she just like captivates everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You just like look at her. And that's one of the many checklist options of being a superstar. Is like who you literally are just drawn to, and Daeun is.
She's one of those people I feel like if something didn't happen with Kep1er and she ended up like going solo by herself, she could do it.
I think she absolutely could be a soloist and eventually will in whatever time it is for them.
And we've talked before about how it's hard for me to envision soloists because there's a lot of people that are soloists now.
I think Daeun
who are good soloists that I was very questionable on when they debuted as soloists. And I'm telling you right now, I think Daeun could be a great soloist.
Well, here's the thing. I never saw... we were very questionable about Yuri.
Yeah.
And she's been excellent as a soloist. So good. Love her music. I see Daeun so much more as a soloist than I saw Yuri.
Oh, yeah.
And like...
Or even Yoonbi.
Yeah. Daeun just has like it.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
Chris
saying.
Jericho would say.
Yeah.
It. Like, literally biggest star in the group, I think it's Daeun. We always kind of wondered why she was the number 1 Korean, I guess, trainee coming into Girls Planet. But now it's like, okay, I can obviously see that.
I was also blinded by my love of Yujin and CLC. And now look how the tables have turned. It's just, I don't know. It's just different.
And I hate to say it, but like, some idols, even in like debut groups, like have it more than other people do.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
Daeun does.
Well, like we were talking about basketball earlier, it's anything. Like,
You have to have a best player.
You saw Jason Tatum play in high school, and you knew that he was good enough
that guy's
to
gonna
be.
go to the NBA.
Yeah, like that's like he's by far the best.
Yeah, and like now Daeun is a superstar. Really, just trended like up arrow definitely for her too. I think she's like probably the biggest star. I don't know who technically the most popular person is, but like I think she's probably the biggest star in Kep1er right now.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just super fun. Really, really impressed with Diane.
The next two people I'll talk about that I feel like are all kind of in the same boat here are Mashiro and Youngin.
I feel like they're really similar.
I feel like they're very good role players on the team. You
Yeah.
know, they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's so if I had to quantify it into something that understandable for people listening, the top half here you have like Hikaru and Dion and Cheon, and they're like it. Like they're like, you know, they're really good. Mm-hmm. The bottom half you have Bahie, Yujin, and Xiaoting, who aren't like bad, but they're not like, you know, carrying the team. And you have this middle section here where it's like Youngin, Mashiro, and Yeso, where I can see why they made the group, and like I'm glad they're in the group.
Yeah.
And they do what they're supposed to be doing, but it's not like, you know, they're not going to be like, oh man, you know, like they're going to surpass Diane and Hikaru as being like
not right
spectacular
now.
or whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, they're all good though.
They're just like really, really good and do really good. That's just
they don't do anything wrong.
That's just like the difference with like I feel like Bahia and them is just like even in small moments when they have a moment to be on camera or have a reaction, like Youngin or Mashiro or even Yeso are like they're gonna like make the most of it and make sure they're on the camera shot.
Like play to the camera.
Bahia
like,
doesn't do that.
Like facial
Not
expressions
yet.
do stuff. Bahia just sits there.
I think that they really
Like
are
shouting.
just like really, really great at being members of the group that just like do awesome things and like know their role. I think that's like I definitely put them all together.
You got your top three, your middle three, and your...
I thought Mashiro and Youngin were like literally like almost the same as far as just being like really, really awesome in like kind of the middle. Yeso I wasn't sure for a while, but actually watching some more of Queendom and like recently with their comeback, Yeso's definitely there too.
I also benefit of the doubt. Yeso's the youngest member, so she kind of has...
She's got the Machne power.
She's doing whatever it is she's doing.
But she does a really good job. Like, she does a good job.
And what was the one song they had? Their one La Voyage? Or
Yeah.
La... She did really good. She had a lot of lines in that song. She's awesome.
She's actually, like, very... She's got, like, all the skills that she needs to. Like, she doesn't really, like, lack in anything. It's just, again, you can't all be like LeBron James. But, yeah, I think... I don't know. I've been impressed with... I thought Young did really good on the show. I thought Mashiro did really good on the show. Like, they definitely were, like, memorable. Like, they had moments where you're just like, these people are not forgettable. Like, you still remember them, even if they might have not had the biggest role. They just, like, make the most of what they do.
Yeah.
And that's,
100%.
like, what Yeso does. So, I definitely don't see a Kep1er, like, without them. And I really don't see a Kep1er without, like, most of the members.
The last thing I'll say about it, because, I mean, that pretty much sums up the whole...
Yeah.
Thoughts on what we've got here through the first 6 months of them being a group.
Mm-hmm.
First comeback also was awesome. Everybody did great. The stage for group, not Girls Planet, for Queendom, I mean, everybody did whatever they were doing. The song just wasn't good. And this the last one, everyone just had this fun summery vibe. Like, nobody really, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone just did what they were doing.
Well, I think
it didn't blow me away. It wasn't like my favorite song.
No, Wada Da, which I'm really glad they have, just because these other songs maybe haven't been like the most crazy. Wada Da is like still one of my favorite songs of this year. Like, I think that was a killer debut. It was an amazing song.
I will literally go out on a limb right now and say I don't know if they're ever going to make a song that's better than that.
I don't know. And then put that coupled with Mask as a B-side.
Mask was sick.
Like, those two songs made a really incredible first album, and we're like, whoa. And Wada Da, I don't know, I feel like people have mixed opinions about it, but, like, I loved it every second of that song.
If you want to see what we really felt, go watch our reaction video.
Seriously.
We got that, too.
I think Wada Da was, like, amazing. One of my favorite debuts ever. I think that song's so good. Yeah, and then on Queendom, honestly, as a group overall on Queendom, kind of disappointed with them.
Yeah.
As a group overall in the whole show, they didn't show me as much as I wanted them to show.
I
was kind of disappointed with them.
Thought they were going to do a lot better than what they did.
I was like, I mean, wasn't like, wow, they're definitely going to win. I didn't think that. But I thought they were overall pretty disappointing as a group.
Like, they barely got better than last.
And I don't know. I was just disappointed with them overall. I mean, they had a couple stages that were okay. Maybe it was just kind of some of the arrangements. They also had the worst performance, I think, on the whole show.
I really went into the show wanting to root for him really hard.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I think I said it on the other episode, on our final episode review, at the end of the show, I was just kind of like, man, do I even like them as much as I think I like them? Like, what is going on right now? Like, Vives is awesome.
And I still think, I know I do still. Like, I know I still like them as much, but I was definitely disappointed overall with them on the show. I don't know why. It's just...
it's probably not their fault. I mean, whoever arranged the music...
I think some of the arrangements... I thought the one cover stage was so bad. That was horrible. And then some of their other ones, too. And then, like you said, like, covering Girls' Generation, like, come on.
It's not necessarily that their other performances were bad. They just didn't blow me away. Like other groups. It didn't, like, captivate me. I'm just like, okay.
I mean, even if I was, like, that was the only group I wouldn't sit there and be like, they needed to win. Like, no. Like, in an honest opinion, other groups outperformed them and had better songs pretty much most of the time. I don't think they ever...
Like, did they deserve to be higher ranked than Brave Girls? No.
I don't think they ever had the best... Well, they didn't because they never won. But, like, to my opinion, I don't think they ever had... Maybe their very opening one, which really didn't count for anything, was awesome. It was, like, my favorite thing they did on the whole show. It was so good. And then their first stage was pretty good. Like, Wadada was really cool. And then it kind of just was, like, a weird, like, kind of, like, treading water to me. I thought when they did their individual stuff with the... Or not individual, but when they split up and did, like, the multi-group stuff, I thought they did pretty well. But, I mean, everyone did pretty well. So, overall, kind of disappointed with them on the show. I was thinking maybe, too, just because they were so new going on something like that. Like, that might have been kind of tough.
Yeah.
But, and then this most recent comeback, I really loved the summer vibe. It's really good. There's some very cool songs on the album. But the title track, again, like, wasn't, like, the most, like, mind-blowing, like, whoa, this is so crazy. I need to, like, instantly put this on my playlist. Like,
wow, this is a great follow-up to Wadada. I'm like, no.
No, and also, but that just speaks on how good Wadada was. And it didn't even need to be the same thing. I love the vibe. I don't know. The song just kind of felt a little generic, but I like the video a lot. Some of the B-sides are really cool on that album, by the way. So, yeah, overall it's I'd say it's been pretty good so far. I don't know. I'd say overall as a group, maybe they were definitely trending down after Girls Planet, or not Girls Planet, Queendom for me. Like, I was like, what are we doing, guys? But maybe with the recent comeback, they got to back up to just the even. Like, they're okay. I mean, I still love them. I signed up for the fan club. I got the album coming. So, like, I definitely stand them. I just, like, want them to be great. Like, I just want them to be great.
But if they literally had a Kep1er group, right? Like, when they came out, and it was just, like, the top... Well, I guess there's 9 people in the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the top 7 members, and they didn't have Shouting or Yujin. I would have been perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, I think if you take them off, it's fine. Or if you put other people with,
I'm just saying, if you just like took them out and you had the group now and you took them out, 100% fine with it.
Yeah, I think they all fit that concept.
I don't think they really lose anything. I don't think they gain anything. They just be...
That's kind of the biggest
more lines for Bahia.
Yeah, which we're rooting for her. So, I mean, and they have so much time left. Like, but I think it's good to kind of be realistic or like real at the time with them, just because we're on this journey with them. So
this is like the halfway mark of the first time of them being a group, and this is our opinions of what's going on. In 6 months, could be completely different.
I'll give them an overall. What overall grade would I give? I really don't even know. Because Wadada was so good. And Mask was so good, too. Like, if Mask was their debut or, like, comeback for...
I mean, not just including their songs, but all their interactions and watching the reality stuff and everything with them together. I mean, as a group for the first 6 months, I'd probably give them, like, a solid B-.
I think I'll give them a B. We'll give them a B. I just really want them to do better on Queendom. That whole Queendom... all of it for them...
I feel like...
just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like,
I feel like maybe...
Like, if they could have done a little better
they were so new, maybe they shouldn't have been on there.
I was kind of thinking that, too.
And just let them live their course out, like...
It just was so... They literally just debuted, like, and they were on this show. It's like...
Some people might argue with this, but I feel like maybe being in the public eye so much early in their career kind of, like how we look at them, kind of hurt them a little bit more than helped them.
Like, let them just have their comeback and do... I don't know.
Because think about it. We saw them every week, and they're like, oh, yeah, cool. And the more we watch them, we're like, oh, well, these other groups are better than they are.
And I just think there was more to gain for the other groups than then even them being new. It's like they have time to grow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like if we would have had their comeback or Wadada, then they came back like this song, we'd have been so much more excited because we haven't seen them doing anything for like months.
They could have done whatever
instead of watching them every week and being disappointed.
And even when the initial lineup came out, they were never the group I was like, they need to win. it was like WJSN who did, or like Luna. It was like groups that have been around that have fan bases that maybe need this win a little more than Kep1er.
I wish you would have swapped Kep1er for Fromus 9. That'd have been sick.
See, I think Fromus would have been a perfect group, which they were rumored. Fromus would have been a perfect group for this, again, because they would have been around. They're kind of like, I don't know, I hate to say like mid-tier because Fromus is really great. But then it would have allowed other people to see Fromus be really great, and I think they would have been perfect on that show. I think Queendom's a good show for groups that have kind of been doing it, so they can kind of like get back in the public eye and get some.
People say like any notoriety is good notoriety. I don't know if that's the case with Kep1er.
I mean, it's like fine. Like I'm sure they gain some fans, but they just have so much time left to be a group. And
because if I would have gone into that not knowing who they were and watching them, I'd be like, man, these guys aren't very good.
I would have. I mean, I would have been like, yeah, they definitely didn't deserve to win anything or like any stages.
But like I said, you come out with Mask, you come out with Wada Doll and Bangers. And then you just do like normal K-pop girls group stuff. You disappear for a little bit or go on variety shows. Then you pop up a couple months later, have a comeback. And people are like, oh, wow, you're finally back. Like, this is awesome.
Things would be a lot different. And like you could always say this about anything, but things would be a lot different if I didn't think Wada was so freaking amazing.
That is true.
And Mask. Like if that album was different, I would be like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? But that was so great. It literally like has given me so much hope for them. I still love them, but that's just like my honest now. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, they've been super great and the best and my favorite. Like, no, not true. I think they could be better, and I think they will be better. And I still am salty about people that got eliminated that didn't make it, so whatever.
Now it's just time for them to see if they can take this ride and overtake Stacy on my list of favorite groups.
Yeah, I mean, Stacy is awesome.
Stacy is where Kep1er should be on my list of favorite groups right now.
I honestly don't even know what my like overall list is right now, just with.
But that's pretty much our hot take opinions on Kep1er.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell us how much you disagree in the comments section.
I mean, it's just being honest. It's just being honest.
And like I said, it's not like we just learned about them. Like we've watched more than enough content.
Here the whole
all
time.
of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many stages we've watched them perform or how many random videos we've watched them do. I mean, we've seen all their TikToks they've posted.
We see
we've seen everything.
I mean, we send multiple something Kep1er theme like Instagram posts to each other every single day. So it's not like we're like not paying attention.
Or it's like, oh man, I just found this group. Like I'm not a big fan. Like they're terrible. Like no, we literally
from the beginning,
like a child being born.
That's why we're having.
Like
that's why we're
16 years old. Like
Yeah, that's why we're having this honest breakdown because we've been with them since the very beginning. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll give it another while and then we'll do it again.
6 more months. December.
We'll just let them do winter time. We'll have our next breakdown for Kep1er. See what's going on. Hopefully everything's good.
It's a longer episode. Hopefully you guys listen to it and have your own opinions.
Really got going today.
But yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys think and how much you disagree with us and how much you hate us. That fuels my fire. But speaking of disagreeing with us, next week, top songs for the first half of the year.
First half of the year, it's already a battle.
It's a bloodbath.
There's been a lot of great songs. I've been thinking about it this last week. It's tough. So there's been really great music this year.
Yeah,
this has been a great year.
It's always crazy because you go into the first half of the year and you're like, man, you're like going through the months like, I don't know, there hasn't been too many great songs. The last year was better. Then you go to make the list like, man, there's a lot of good songs that came out this year.
Well, I just know it for me because like I can already like pretty much get a list off the top of my head like that, and then I can think of other songs like. This year it's gonna be tough just because there's been so many that I've liked. So sometimes it's not like that, but this year it's been a really great half a year so far.
So tune in for that next week. Should be exciting. We might have a special episode for you next weekend too because we're gonna go see Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, we're starting concerts. Our concert tour starts next weekend. Yeah, so if
you're listening to this and you're gonna go see Dreamcatcher in Kentucky,
if you're gonna be in Louisville, Kentucky for some Dreamcatcher, hit us up because we will be there. Talk about Kep1er, but. Until then, we'll keep you guys updated about what we're doing. Hopefully see you at some concerts. But I'm Chad Tees, Fall Girl. We love you guys. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Later.